Hey, and welcome to the Advanced Web Development Academy. Today I'll show you a lot of nice functions that will actually help you increase and boost your speed development. We'll talk about a type testing function. And what I'll do during the purpose of this course, I'll output all the results in here inside the div that has a class result. In order to do that, I need to create a function that will always automate the process of doing that, and we call show message. It will take in parameter a message. Then all it does is it just takes a span in here and changes the text inside the message, and outputs it to what we have the result on a web page. And that's as simple as that. In order to test that, I can just call now show message, and I say hey, just to see how it works on the web page. Okay, we have it. The first function about the type testing function I will illustrate right now is IsRe. So what IsRe does is pretty interesting. It will just tell you always if you have an array inside your project, because sometimes we're dealing with a lot of object coming from other platforms and everything, and you want to have a behavior according to the type of an object. So that's the IsRe function. So in order to do that, I'll create a simple array here, and I'll call it my array, and I'll just add this inside, and I need to test it now. So I'm just gonna call show message, and I'll just call the function IsRe on my array. So it would tell me if the object is an array, and it says true. It's pretty handy. And I'll call you isFunction. You want to see if an object is a function. So how do you do that? And it's pretty simple. I'll call show message on in here isFunction. I'll call it on show message because I declare it as a function. In here, show message is declared as a function. So it will tell me true if it's actually a function or not, if it's not. And we have true. It's pretty handy. I'll just show you now is empty object. Sometimes you want to test if an object is empty or things like that, and you just want to use, instead of doing a bunch of manipulation, I can just have like var my empty object equals new object, like that, and I'll say it's empty object. I'll call my empty object, like that. So he'll tell me through if it's an empty object or you not. I need to show the message in here. That's a great tool. That's actually great, trying to isolate behaviors with functions so that you can call it on the go and it says true. I can try the same thing with my array in here. It's empty object, and I'll call my array that has 3 variables inside, and it says false. So that comes pretty handy when you want to actually determine if you have an empty object or not. Let's see how it works with array. We have my empty array, and I'm just gonna declare in here an empty array. So if I just show message with this empty object on my empty array, so what it does is it says true. So you can actually test if an array is empty as well, because for the JavaScript point of view, an array will be on an empty point of view. With that function, it will consider empty arrays as empty object as well. So in order to know if an object is declared as just as if you have been declared with only new object, and if it's a plain object or just with the curly braces, you can use this. I'll say my var my plain object, equals this. And you can actually see if you declare it with just the curly bracket by saying is plain object this time, and you say okay, my plain object, and you do this, and it will say okay, it's true, it's a plain object. It's pretty handy. And when you're dealing with numbers, you want to actually know if the object that is sent is a number, or if it can be parsed as a number. The function is numeric. Will do that. I'll declare two things. I'll say my number in here. My number equals this, 4. And I'll say my parsable number equals 5. What show message does, what IsNumeric does is it will consider 5 as a parsable, as a number as well, because it's parsable. It's possible to have it as a number, so we can consider it as well. And I'll say my number, and I'll say okay, it is a numeric, of course, and you say true. Then I'll just show message. I'll apply it also on my parsable number, and it will say the same, 3, because it's parsable. It's possible to have 5 in string converted into that, so you need to be really careful with numbers like this. It's never really consider it as well like that. The last function I'll call is type. Type will only show you in lowercase every type of the function you pass in parameter. For instance, if I just show message and I use this, is no, not just type. Yeah, just type in here, and I'll call, for instance, parsable number in here, and I reload it. It will tell me string. So if you want to actually know what is the real type without having to guess if the number is parsable inside, you can use type, and it will tell you all the type of the object you're passing in parameter, and it will always be in lowercase like in here. So if you want to know, for instance, if an object is a function, if it's a function, a boolean, a string, an array, or a date, or a regex, an object, or even undefined or null. Let me try with this one, var, and I'll call it just simple, let's say variable, and I'll say just like that. Then I call show message with type, and I say okay, variable in here. If I reload the page, it will tell me the type of the object, and it will say in here undefined, because it hasn't been defined in here. So that's pretty cool when you want to actually know if your object has been initialized or not, or it has just been initialized as null. Because if in here I just add the null in here, it would actually change it. And it becomes pretty confusing to deal with JavaScript when it's about undefined and null, and the function type can help you solve this problem. So if you really enjoyed the lesson, I invite you to subscribe to have more of this type of tool in the Web Advanced Academy.